Default radio buttons are functional, but styling them is always tricky. In this video, we will build a fully custom radio input using Tailwind CSS, which will be reusable, accessible, and controlled in React. Let's get started. First, let's create simple radio input component. Right now, it's just a label with a native radio input inside. You can see the radio button on the screen, but it's using default browser style with no customization. To customize it, we remove the default browser appearance using Tailwind's appearance none class. On the UI, the radio is still clickable, but visually the default style is now hidden. Next, we add a border and rounded shape to visually recreate the radio button. We also use Tailwind checked variant to change the border color when the radio is selected. This is the first step toward a fully custom radio design. To make this text state more clear, we add a small div that represents the inner dot. This dot is positioned absolutely inside the label, on top of the radio input. Right now, it's static, we will fix that next. To control when the dot appears, we use Tailwind's peer and peer check utilities. The dot starts at scale 0 and scales to full size using peer check scale 100 when the radio is selected. On click, you can see the inner dot animates smoothly. Now let's make this component reusable. We add props like label, name, value, and ID. This allows us to reuse the same radio input for different questions and options. We replace the hard-coded text with the label prop. This makes the component fully dynamic. Next, we connect the input and label using ID and HTML for. This improves accessibility and ensures clicking the label checks the radio. Finally, we add the name and value attributes. This allows React to group radio buttons correctly and keep the selected state in sync. This is how radio input should work in real-world React apps. Now, let's use our custom radio input inside an app. We start with simple question. Next, we render our radio input component and pass the required props. Finally, we add multiple options like yes and no. Now, the user can select between options, the check state updates correctly, and the animation stays smooth and consistent. One more thing, you can also change the shape and style of the radio input. For example, you can make it square, and you can also remove the inner dot and increase the border thickness on check. And that's how you build a fully custom radio input using Tailwind CSS in React. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe for more coding tutorials. Thank you for watching.